Yo, what's good, y'all? You Dub back here again, here in 2019. Let's get it. Bringing y'all more new, fresh content. One of the toughest lists I've ever tried to conceive of doing. Oh my gosh, who are the greatest defensive players in NBA history? Now, you would think this would be pretty simple, but it's really not because it's almost like you're gonna snub a hell of a lot of elite defenders. You're like, oh, to make the top 15, because there's some people who you want to make the cut. You like, and then you remember, oh, he should be on there. He should be on there. Oh, but listen, all right. Before I begin this, I just want y'all to know this is not your favorite players list. It's the best, greatest defenders. We being objective around here. This is not who you think. You remember this person was great. No. That's not how this works. All right. Also, these are overall best defenders. Just because someone was a steal artist, just because someone was a block master, doesn't mean that person inherently gets high on the list. Pretty much, most of these top positions, they can guard all five positions. Or that person was so elite in locking the defender down 101 that that person was high up on the list. There's certain qualities. All right, so I'll explain more why my picks and in my order. There's reason why this is a specific order. All right, this is not no interchangeable mess. No. These are locked in their positions for a reason. You can argue some of these lower ones can be higher. You can try to argue that some people get replaced off this list. But if you remember, go back and watch these people play and try to come back. Some of these people got snubbed. When it comes to Defensive Player of the Year, people don't so much care about their award. So you got people getting snubbed. Guys like LeBron should have been winning. 2013. Everybody knows LeBron should have been a Defensive Player of the Year. He was snubbed. There's some people who get more awards because they the flashier defender, while other people are getting snubbed. There's a gentleman on this list who should have been like practically every year he was in the league for like half of his career. All right, at least half his career. He should have been first team all defense. Was not never. I don't even think he ever got a defensive first team all defense. And it's lunacy to me because I'm watching what this man could do. So with that being said, I have to also break down one other thing. All right, I have a tier ranking when it comes to defenders in the NBA. Starting with good. You cannot make it the league and be a trash-ass defender. When I say trash-ass, if you go to the court, you go to the pickup game, you go to the playground, right? You know what I'm talking about. Can't play a lick of defense to save. It's like, doesn't even have a concept of defense. You cannot play organized basketball at a high level and not hold a play from damn defense. It's fucking ridiculous. You can't. So, pretty much every player in the league can play defense. It's just you at an elite level now, okay? So pretty much everybody starts at baseline good, all right? Then you have great defenders, all right? These are the guys that take the next step. Pretty much most superstars can play defense. Even Chef Harden is at a great level. But this is just tier 2. He just seems bad because he ain't elite. Even Steph is here, all right? Guys who you don't think are the great defenders is because they're not to the next level, elite. That's your Kobe Bryant. That's your LeBron. That's a lot of players. All right, a lot of your best defenders, the people you think of, are elite defenders. You know, potentially a Patrick Beverley. You know, Patrick Beverley's almost in my neck. He's borderline for the highest quality defender. You know, for me. Rondo was elite at one point. Yeah, a lot of people elite. Then you have a lockdown. Now, this is your rare breed. And actually, most superstars don't be locked down. Number one, because they have too much on offensive responsibility. Number two, it's so difficult to be locked down. Now, that doesn't just mean man to man. That means not in my house. Not in my house. You might catch me on the road, but not in my house. Nelly theme song for NBA Street Volume 2. Excuse me. NFL Street Volume 2 was something else entirely. But NBA Street Volume 2, y'all remember that song? This house, not my house. That was the phrase when I was young. Now that was typically that phrase was like overall, not in my house. You know, you ain't winning here. But not in my house for defense. You ain't coming in here, son. I pride myself as a lockdown defender. I've known lockdown defenders. I know what defense looks like. That's why I did that 10 rules of defense. But without further ado, because y'all know what y'all came here for, I just wanted to set some criteria so y'all understand what I'm coming for this list, right? Two honorable mentions. Like I said, Patrick Beverly, he may be on the come up. Marc Gasol, I consider, but maybe they were down the line. You look at some other legends. But two honorable mentions that did not make the cut, although some would, I know they're gonna argue that they should be on it. Shaq. Shaq is definitely worthy of this list. I just did not quite have him because Shaq's mobility, as great as he was, elite, lockdown, especially as time went on, he's almost there. And then you have, of course, Ben Wallace, was an absolute monster, 4-time, defensive player of the year. Some might view that as a snub, but I look at it as like Ben Wallace was great. But Ben Wallace is like one of the greatest overachievers in basketball history. So without that out of the way, let's go to number 15. No, Mr. Dikembe Mutombo. Y'all already know, 4-time defensive player of the year. This dude was a shot blocking machine, but this dude was Mr. Intimidate. You wanted him on your squad. For example, even as he aged out of his Nuggets days and whatnot, when he played for the Philadelphia 76ers, him, Eric Stone was a damn good defender as well, might I add, elite level, right? If not lockdown himself. But this dude, Dikembe, you had AI Eric Snow up front. You had Matt Geiger, but Dikembe just held down the center, bro. I had to include him on the list. I don't think anybody would disagree with him being on the list. Some might even argue that he's higher. The reason I don't have him higher, to me, is he's the least mobile of all these defenders. Like, all these other defenders can defend more positions. See what I'm saying? But I had to put respect on the Hall of Famer's name. Coming in at number 14, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain. Now, if you know, Wilt the Stilt is practically on every list. All right? As long as it's overall basketball, Wilt the Stilt's going to be somewhere on the top 15. If you don't have this man in your top 15 on all-time great lists, then I don't know what you're doing with your life. Because this man was an absolute monster. An athletic freak, some argue the greatest athlete that's ever laced up on the court. I don't need to go too much in depth. I even made sure to validate. Go look YouTube, Wilt's defensive capacity. The dude could move at 7 feet tall, 300 pounds, bro. It's like Joel Embiid playing like he Murasaki Bar. If you know Kuroko no Basket. Wilt Chamberlain was the real life Murasaki Bar. Dude's an absolute monster. And he did it on both ends of the floor. Like, what I'm supposed to do with this? Slightly above him at number 13 is Bill Russell, because the intellect. Bill Russell was not as athletically gifted, not as large as Wilt Chamberlain. But Bill Russell was damn good. He was great. You can argue that he was even better than Wilt. Both of them were just absolute monsters. Bill Russell, again, go YouTube. I made sure to fact check. Bill Russell is as good as I thought he was. My goodness, this dude literally put the fear of God in defenses. When you put the fear of God in defenses, you deserve top 15 on the defensive side of the ball. Coming in at number 12, one of the most underrated defenders from his college days throughout his pro days, Shane Battier, lockdown, clink, clink. When I think of there are 4 guys, and they're the next 4 on this list, from what I watched, what I witnessed, you can say this is recency bias all you want to, but Shane Battier was Mr. Clink Clink. He put them chains on you, son. Now, I can't put him as high on the list because he doesn't have, the pedigree and stuff. But he, to me, defined lockdown. You didn't come Shane Battier's way and just expect an easy lifetime. He going to give you hard all night long. Also coming in at number 11, Tony Allen. Now, if y'all who are casuals, do not watch Tony Allen play. First of all, he plays effectively on both ends of the floor. But his defense is so subtle and so deceptive, so tricky. You don't want to go up against Tony Allen. You know it's going to be a hard night. It's going to be a long night for you all night long. Every time I watch this man play, Tony Allen, doesn't matter if he was in for a 6-minute stretch. Doesn't matter if he was playing 30 minutes in a game for Boston, for Memphis, for whoever. Tony Allen was putting the manacles on folk. This man had you chained up. But let's enter the top 10. Coming in at number 10, Bruce Bowen, the old Spur, the wild vet. Bruce Bowen, the physical ass defender. Bruce Bowen, frustrated offensive players. Bruce Bowen with his 3-point sniping ass. Bruce Bowen, you want to you hear the term 3 and D? He was arguably the originator of that term. 3 and D, because he will lock you up on one end and then snipe you from down the other end. Bruce Bowen, again, y'all did not really pay attention to Spurs basketball. He was a large reason besides the big three Spurs of Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili. Bruce Bowen was a large reason of why the Spurs got all those rings. All right, Bruce Bowen was, oh man, I hate it. Like as when the Heat had to play the Spurs, I'm like, is Bruce Bowen like I'm is like, all right. We knew what Tim Duncan was gonna give us, the business. But then it's the same thing as with the Lakers versus the Spurs battle. So watch the Lakers versus Spurs. I'm like, all right, Tim Duncan gonna give the business. I really expect that. Manu Ginobili does what Manu does. Tony Parker's gonna be inconsistent. He's either gonna be great or he's not gonna be that good. But man, this dude here, Bruce Bowen, you just like, oh, God, not again. Every time on your favorite player on the wing, Bruce Bowen was gonna give him hell. Has to be on this list. Coming in at number 9, the most underrated defensive player in NBA history, Tayshaun Prince. With over 7-foot wingspan, this dude is your wing defender. He's the kind of guy you want on your high school or your rec team, your whatever team. He's the kind of guy that you like, all right, he ain't gonna give us that much offense. He can give us some. But I'm picking him because you ain't gotta worry about at least one player on the floor, if not multiple players. He's so long and lanky. He the kind of guy that you think you're gonna get by with a crossover and be like, bruh, you get your pockets picked. Cause he like, bro, he can cover so much space. And he's dedicated to defense. He understands. It's just he's not flashy. He's that kind of guy that's a baller that doesn't say much, but he just affects the game in so much. He stifles. He's just long, lanky. He can just get there. He's a basketball player, man. Tayshaun Prince, when it comes to defense on the wing, I always thought Tayshaun Prince. Now, my 4, Tony Allen, Shane Battier, Bruce Bowen, and Tayshaun Prince, to me, those were the 4 lockdown. Those who I consider lockdown. Highest pedigree. When I talk about lockdown, I always reference them. Okay? You know, I can't put them higher on the list because some of these other people are just legends when it comes to defense. But other than that, like these 4 are just, to me, it epitomizes. If you want to learn how to play defense on the perimeter, learn from them. Especially Tayshaun Prince. Tayshaun Prince was the one I was referring to that got snubbed when it came to all defensive players. Tayshaun Prince, he would never get the defensive player of the year, but he should have been first team all defense for like 5-6 years, bro. Like, he was just incredible to watch. But a lot of people didn't watch Tayshaun because they didn't watch the subtleties because he didn't impact the game in stats. But he was damn sure a great defender. Talking about clink clink, bro, he was putting you in maximum penitentiary. You know, maximum penitentiary. Okay, but we're moving on. Coming in at number 8, Dennis Rodman. Now, recent information more so, because I didn't grow up watching it like that. I knew Dennis for his rebounding, but my God, he could cover all 5 positions, and this man gave hell to everybody. A lot of folks swear by him being the greatest defender of all time. The only reason to me he's not high on this list is because I got guys who can. Dennis, like, he is greatness. Not no disrespect. He had the effort. But there are other guys who just specialize just better in specialization and who I think can cover even better than him. So while he definitely deserves top 10, without question, number 8 is nothing to snuff at. If you top 8 in anything, bro, you legit. All right. So let's not get this misconstrued. I'm not being disrespectful, but the rest of these players you hear on the list, I'm pretty sure y'all agree with me that Dennis Rodman is where he needs to be. Coming in at number 7, the Claw, Kawhi Leonard. Now, my dude Dalton, shout out to Dalton, for years tried to get me on the Kawhi bandwagon. I'm like, I don't know, bro. I need to see more. You know, this whole thing, he locked down LeBron. He didn't lock down LeBron. Let's stop. Stop, stop, stop. But, you know, I need to see. I thought he was a bit overhyped. I respected the 2-time, you know, Defensive Player of the Year and whatnot. But I need to see more from Kawhi. Then this 2018-2019 season happened. And this dude was putting the business, he was putting the clamps on everybody, son. And I'm sitting there like, damn, Kawhi? Okay. You've certified yourself to legendary status, son. And he's still only in his prime. So I'm curious to see what he does now. No, Kawhi giving it to him on both ends of the floor and still clamping folks down. I'm like, it's one thing to be dedicated on one end of the floor. It's another thing to be your team's first option and still giving folks the business on the other end. I'm like, all right, Kawhi. All right, yep. You top. No question. No question. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, he has the hands for it. He has the skill set and whatnot. You know. But the other people to me on this list are just even more iconic than Kawhi. But I had to put respect on the young man's name. I had to. Coming in at number 6, just outside the top 5. I think y'all agree with me on this one. The Glove, Gary Payton. Y'all already knew the Glove was on this list. Y'all already knew that. Come on now. I don't really need to explain. You ever watch Gary Payton? You ever watch 90s basketball? It's without question, bro. Growing up, he was one of the names that you knew. Scottie Pippen in the Glove. You know, people talk about Michael Jordan stuff, too, but it was Scottie Pippen in the Glove. You know, people brought up the Dikembe and stuff, but it was Scottie Pippen in the Glove. You talk about the perimeter defenders. It was Scottie Pippen in the Glove. The Glove. When you have a name at the Glove, that already tells you certified bona fide. Bro, it wasn't even that big. He was 6'4", but he was locking folk down. You didn't want him on you, arguably the greatest one-on-one defenders of all time. That's why he's so high. Because you knew if you facing Gary Payton, you were facing the Supersonics, excuse me. Jeez. You were facing the Supersonics. You knew that if you had to face the Sonics, you were about to get hell from this man. This man was like a man possessed on the defensive side of the ball. Scrappy. Just, oh my goodness. Part of the reason why he's not higher is because of his size. But the fact that a point guard, makes the list, especially this high, should just tell you the level of greatness we witness from this man night in and night out. But we moving to the top 5. Coming in at number 5, some can argue higher on this list. I don't have a problem. You know, he said he thinks he's the greatest of all time. I don't have a problem with him saying it because he deserves to think. Anytime you top 5, you have a legitimate claim at the GOAT. Draymond Green. Now, y'all need to put respect on this man's name. This young man out here, stay locking fools down. This man out here could cover all 5 positions like nobody's business. Mr. Utility, one of the, if not the most unique skill sets in NBA history. It makes no sense what Draymond is, but he just does his damn thing. But on that defensive side of the ball, tell me it's hard pressed. Ask me who is a better defender in the game today. You want to say Kawhi? Well, he's up there, so we have a debate with that one. But other than that, don't bring me anybody else but Kawhi as the best defender in the game today. He is the best. The best. Arguably the GOAT. Draymond Green. In case y'all don't know, Draymond's mobility. Y'all see this man literally move all over the floor. Shutting lanes down solo dolo. And then setting up KD to get blocks. Like, bro, this man plays wily games with folk. To me, he's a more athletic version of Dennis Rodman. Now, some can like, whoa. Yes, Dennis Rodman may have had sheer natural athleticism, but as far in a basketball sense, Draymond is more athletic version than Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman say he eat Draymond. I don't know, bro. Dennis, Draymond the truth. Let's be real. Draymond the truth now. Come on now. Coming in at number 4. Now, this player, I don't hype up as much as others, But again, I'm objective. And I got to put proper respect on this man's name. Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. The Dream. Bruh. Bruh. You ain't want to see the dream. You didn't want to see the dream. We opened up a mixtape, a block party. That's what you about to get. You about to get this work, son. You about to get this work from the dream. My God, bro. My God. You go back and watch tape, and tape don't lie. I was like, he was the truth, but he's not. This man was giving that work. He was putting that pressure on everybody. I don't really need to talk about what y'all already know. So we just gonna move on to number 3 because the Dream certified top 5. Number 3, one of the Twin Towers, the Admiral, who argued Mr. Quadruple Double. This dude here was a freak when it came to his mobility, man, on both ends of the floor, but especially on the defense, bro. David Robinson, the Admiral, was a monster, bro. Bruh, like this dude is the kind of guy you want on your squad. Cause he clean up crew. You ain't never gotta worry about anything. I ain't worried. I ain't worried. That's Mr. Robinson over here. I ain't worried. Cause he got your back. He gonna hold it down anchor as a big man, but he can get out. Okay? This dude, it was devastating. Again, go back and watch this man play. But coming in at number 2, even greater than the Admiral, arguably the greatest, the big fundamentalist Tim Duncan. Now, some of y'all only remember Tim Duncan of how his career went, where he was still, it's funny, man. Skip Bayless talked about him being still the best rim protector in the league in his advanced age. He couldn't even really move anymore, and he was still giving folks that work. He was just disrupting everything. The Spurs don't win in 2014 if Tim Duncan doesn't give you that defense. But the thing is, if you go back to his prime days or his young days, Twin Towers with David Robinson won because of this man. No disrespect to the one of all-time 50 greats, but Tim Duncan, he gave it to you on both ends. But his defense, he was even scarier on defense. He gave Shaq fits. He gave everybody named Mama fits. I think he would have gave Wilt Chamberlain fits. Like this dude. You know how some like free safeties in football can just shut down, or some corners can just shut down the whole side of the field. Some free safeties you don't want to throw up the middle, and some linebackers just rush the quarterback and just sack masters. This dude was everything. Tim Duncan was the man of the middle. Come in there if you wanted to. Think he playing games, son? The Rock, the definitive big man. Come in his presence, you go end up with nothing. You're going to end up broke and at a terrible shot percentage. If Russell Westbrook would have tried to play against Tim Duncan, in his young days, Russell Westbrook, my God, bro, he gonna have to average like 20 assists. He gonna have to have 20 assists a game because they ain't coming in there. You ain't coming in Tim Duncan's house. A pity me and not in my house. But number 1, y'all know. Y'all ain't heard him on this list so far, but y'all already know who this is. The epitome. He epitomizes defense. The person I think of, the person you probably think of when you think of a defender, Scottie Pippen. Do I really need to break down all of the reasons as to why Scottie Pippen is the greatest defender of all time? This dude could practically guard all 5 positions if needed to. Could guard all 5. This dude literally shut down the perimeter. Him and MJ were hellacious, but this dude would literally shut down. He would be put on. He was probably the first person. He's the person that people go back to and look for defensive advice. He had big hands too, like Kawhi has big hands like him, right? But this is the dude that MJ didn't have to worry about defense. If he played defense, this dude Scottie would literally get put on your best player. Except besides big man. But good luck on doing anything. Good luck on doing anything. Scottie Pippen, if you want to learn how to play defense, Study tapes of Scottie Pippen. Watch his body movement. Watch his physicality. Watch his mindset. Watch his angles. Everything is practically perfect. He is literally textbook basketball defense. You don't get it better than him. I respect all these men on this list, and I respect others. But come on, bro. How you not have Scottie Pippen? That's one of the reasons he's top 50 all time because of what he brought to the table on the defensive side of the ball. I expect one to like, comment, subscribe. Give me y'all list. I want to hear what y'all think about this one. Give me y'all list. Was there some surprises? I'm pretty sure there was with like people like Tayshaun Prince. But this is my list. This is like I said, I try to be as objective as possible. I look full rounded at all aspects of the game, and this is what I came up with. All right, y'all. It's tough, man. It's really tough. It took me years to compile this list, but here we are. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.